Traders are not paying attention to what's going on under the hood of the stock market here, and today's price action certainly highlights that as we had a massive reversal off of the lows. NASDAQ finishing down 30 basis points, S&P down 0.5%, the Dow down 1.62. We have the Russell down just under 2%. We'll talk about this in a second here, but a very, very rare ever to see the Dow down more than 2% at one point, a lot of that being Caterpillar. I think Goldman was down quite a bit too. But the NASDAQ down 1% or less at the lows. And this is an extremely, extremely rare pair. And it tells me a couple of things. One, the market is still very well pinned. Vol sellers are still very much in control. You can see 25 held on the VIX here. But amidst all of this this chop here and all this, lower high and whatnot, I'm not seeing anybody else mention this. Let me know in the comments if you have. But nobody's talking about the NASDAQ been outperforming the market here for 5 days now. And that is a really interesting development because when the NASDAQ leads, we know what? That's usually good for stocks. You can see here just the Qs in the green, spiders, and then this is actually the Russell. But it's been leading since the low there. And if we flip over to QQQ versus the Diamond, that's now broken back above the 1.25 area, which was, broken at the beginning of February. This matters, right? We've talked about this. I've said multiple times here. Banks, COTs, it's showing. They're buying ES, they're buying NQ, and they're rotating out of staples. And I know that it's very hard to believe here with the market down, but that is happening. And I got to victory lap this just a little bit here. If you guys are in the trading room and you're watching, let me know. Let everybody know how much you made here today. But we talked about this. I said yesterday, look for a retrace. I said this morning, look for, it wouldn't be shocking to see 6,800. And we did get down there, and I tweeted about it around 12 o'clock. I said, look, CTAs, they're getting there. They're going to fish for them. They're gonna get them to jump in short and bear flag, and we would squeeze off the lows by the end of the day. And anybody in the trading room can tell you that's exactly what we were looking for and exactly why we bought NQ. But specifically, another reason for that is really just the gamma exposure, specifically the LG ones on QQQ. And I'll be covering this in the GEX workshop, probably I'm shooting for like a month here to get that out for you guys. But there was a classic setup today that it just told us that we weren't going to go lower. And if we did get below 605 QQQ, you just buy it and just wait until the end of the day when it gets brought back up. And that's exactly what happened. So nice little move here off the lows. And again, continuing to day trade on my day off, making a nice chunk of change here. I think we can see mean reversion possibly to the upside tomorrow. But again, the NASDAQ leading and semis, they got saved at the 50 DMA here. So they say it closed above it by 10 cents on the SMH. By the way, that was another thing. We had a buy algo fire off, or near the lows on the semis. Banks as well towards the end of the day, around 3 o'clock. Yep, firing right at the low there. So XLF putting in a nice low. But again, this market's still very much pinned, and this is dispersion. Like usually, if the Dow is down 2%, that means the Nasdaq's down 4%. It is unbelievably rare to see something like that, and this is just how the market's working right now. We'll see on jobs. I mean, they've been trying to break 6,800 forever. And I mean, like today with oil, moving higher here, the tweets about Cuba and all that, I'm starting to get like hysteria vibes, specifically with oil. Up 10% at one point intraday. And, it's, coming back in now. This isn't like silver where, and by the way, I'm hearing $200 calls already. Just to be clear, I think oil will probably stay in the, it's in a higher trading range right now. But, I mean, it's up 26% in 5 days. It's not like silver where it doesn't matter. This affects the entire economy and the whole global economy as well. And it's a midterm election year. And Trump caused this. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to back out of the war or anything, but there are jawboning. We've seen the Fed jawbone all the time. I would be careful just being like long up here. Additionally, if it's going to 200, who the hell is selling OIH then? They did buy the dip by the end of the day. They didn't get back to the 20-day, but I did actually finally close my OIH for about 40% on common shares, by the way, not options, commons. So pretty big gain there with OIH. But Yeah, just interesting. XLE, it was up. It's up 30 cents. XOP is getting the move. The refineries, and again, there's the, gas up, 4.86. That did come in off the highs too. But yeah, oil hits demand destruction a lot quicker than silver is my point. And it's just, it's vertical. So it's seeing a lot of hysteria, a lot of talk for, $150, $200, right at the highs of the day, of course. And we did get a pretty good reversal there. And, the Gamma Boys told us that was going to happen. If you guys want to join in with the Gamma Boys, come and subscribe to the channel. They do this every morning on Carnivore Trades on our sister channel. And the trading room, where we absolutely just knocking out of the park every single day, getting 100, 200, 300 point gains here. This market is absolutely amazing for day trading, I have to say. Non-farm payroll tomorrow. And then you're going to come into, if we don't break 6,800 tomorrow, you're going to start seeing dealer buyback. And again, that buys bulls another 2 weeks. And then it just continues over and over this cycle here. But yeah, VIX hitting the 25 handle. Vol sellers pushing it back towards the end of the day. It's still alive, though. It's still alive. So we'll see. There's cash S&P 6830. They defended that again. But again, I cannot ignore NQ outperformance here. And by the way, at the lows of the day, it's just amazing how short-sighted, oh my God, the market's crashing. A 50% fib retraces a crash now. Just, you got to zoom out past the freaking 1 second time frame sometimes, and that tells you a lot. It's just a 618 here on the spiders. So, hey, maybe it becomes a lower high. I'm not saying it can't, but these opportunities are here, and this is what I do to take advantage. I don't care what's going on with the news. That's just for that's for pikers. That's for people who lose money. So we're not here to entertain that. We're just here to make money. IWM here down 2%. It did finally close outside of that wedge, but as long as the NDX is outperforming, I'm just gonna give bulls at least the benefit of the doubt. For right now, Dow is down obviously today. Semis saving the 50 moving average. There's SMH. Nvidia came back big time. They actually closed green. Broadcom was up. We talked about the 310 level yesterday. It got there and for 2 seconds after hours yesterday, and that popped back up pretty nicely. Software continues to rally. We called the low in this. It's taken over here up to 2.3%. Microsoft continuing up here up 1.35, slight higher high. And the transports got hammered, so they got whacked. Again, oil has a lot to do with that. They did close barely just above the low from, was that Tuesday? So that was saved, but definitely got hit on volume there. So transports definitely on the weaker side. Rates also took a pretty good, or had a pretty good jump here. TLT took a hit. It did bounce off the lows, and I still think this can maybe hold on to 89 by the end of the week. Let me just see if there's anything, for tomorrow. It might be it looks like 89 might be it. We'll see. I'll have to take a look at it in the morning. But, it held up. It held up. Rates, it was really the 10-year that got the big bid there. So nice gap there. And we'll see employment data should be interesting tomorrow. Housing, XHB down 2.7. Rates getting hit. IYR down, but not terrible. Held the 50-day. Again, XLF was down, but it popped back by the end of the day. I don't like that red bar though. I would like to see us close above that. And so far it hasn't done that. KRE, same kind of deal. It's bouncing, but nothing great. Same thing with broker dealers. Oil, we already mentioned. XLE, we already mentioned here. Again, shouldn't this be rallying more? So, just question that stuff sometimes. Dollar index up 0.25%, kind of quiet, honestly. Gold and silver kind of quiet as well. That looks like a lower high, and that's definitely a lower high on silver now. So again, these need to really tighten up on the larger time frames, these precious metals. But again, just to throw this out, I'll throw this out there for you for the bears. And by the way, I don't think that I'm just being perma bullish and I think we're going up every day. I talked about this before. There's really good evidence that we could be in recession, and like I said, look, what do precious metals surges always happen, after, right? Recession, massive ones, right? And what happens after an oil spike, right? Pretty sure you can answer that. But that doesn't mean the market goes down right away. In fact, it can go up a lot longer than you think and a lot higher than you think. But anyway, copper here down 1.43, still in range. This looks kind of top heavy though. That weekly looks all right. It's unadjusted. I have to look at an adjusted chart. But yeah, nothing doing there. And then Bitcoin, yeah, inside day. So a little pause after the breakout. Nothing wrong with that really, but it needs to follow through though. Like I don't want to see this back below 69 for more than like a quick test. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. 6,800, that's still the line in the sand. The CTA's got absolutely skinned today, and they use them to stop people out in the middle of the day. But don't ignore the cues when they outperform. It's just a very strong signal here. And if that continues, that's obviously not going to hurt the market. So, anyways, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys all tomorrow morning.